Okay, here we go. I'm gonna click it and we're going live.
Okay.
Alright. Alright. I believe we made it. Here we are. Welcome to the BH and Scrubber bi-week live web podcast. We are going to be talking about a little bit about the season prior to today for the Washington Commanders. And we're going to be looking at the upcoming game. Oh, I just got my notification that we're on. Very good. And my name is Scrubber, and BH is here with us today. How are you doing, BH?
Doing good, man. Hey, I'm glad we got in here just in time. Had a nice break. It was kind of fun. I'm sure the team appreciates it. I've been reading a lot about players getting to rest, and I'm kind of glad for them too, because man, week 14 is pretty late in the season for a bye week.
Yeah, definitely.
So, well, man, where do we start? Well, I guess we got to talk about. Well, it was the first half of our season, which pretty incredible story. I mean, it was, I think at 1-4 at one point, and just fighting and clubbing back to 7-5-1, and we're seated. I mean, at this point, what are we seated at right now? If the playoffs started.
I mean, the third wild card. It would be
Yeah, okay, right. So that's pretty cool,
the
and
second wild card, basically, too. I mean, if we can bump out New York and somehow the Seahawks do good, so it's us, it's Dallas, us, New York, and basically the Seahawks, I
yeah,
guess. And they just lost the other day, and they got to play San Francisco on Thursday.
yeah. No, so yeah, that's going to be. Oh yeah, that's so tomorrow night. So I guess pulling for San Francisco, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I don't see why not. And they're
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
So hey, man, Nick the Quick is in the chat. Loves our streams. Well, thanks, Nick. Good to
Thanks,
have you
Nick.
here, man. Yeah, man. All you guys out there, any questions, any comments, drop them in there. We love to talk about anything you're thinking about. So yeah, so we've kind of gone from a complete disaster, and we'll talk a little bit more ramifications about the playoffs. But it started out with Wentz, got our first victory, Jacksonville, and then man, it proceeded to just you know three straight losses. Including getting clubbed pretty hard by our division rivals, Eagles and Cowboys. So it was pretty disconcerting. We didn't look competitive. Our record was terrible. We hung in there, and it sort of coincided with Brian Robinson, the rookie, coming back.
Yeah.
The running game got going. All of a sudden, Wentz hurts his hand. Heineke comes back in, and all of that just all mixed up, and it all of a sudden it started to work, and we've used that formula pretty good, pretty tight. I mean, going back and looking at some of those scores, man, whew, a lot of close games, and really could have lost some. Realistically, like wow, we kind of dodged a bullet. And even but the Minnesota one, heck, we
Ah,
could have won that game.
yeah.
Let
Ouch.
that one go. So they kind of even out, but that's our style. Coach talks about it. And I think so. That's kind of where we're at, and it's been we've been there every week. Been kind of miraculous, really, to watch the team kind of grow. Kind of frustrating because you always go, "Dang it, man! Why
Yeah.
can't you come into the year, and start off 3-2 or 3-1 or 4-2?" But that's kind of the way they do it. They're kind of that way in games too. We've noticed at the beginning of the year they don't have a sense that we talked about it. Where's your sense of urgency? Like the other team seems like they're ready to kill, and then we sort of get it together later. But it's all worked out. But now we're in a different mode. Now everything changes because honestly, no one thought we'd be talking playoffs at this point. Really, not
That's
even we
true.
weren't.
That's true. Early in the season, I mean, they had their pitchforks and torches out. I mean, Ron was getting fired. Scott Turner was getting fired. Everybody needed to go, and they just sort of turned it around there. It was pretty miraculous. It was nice to watch. I mean, I think we owe it all to our defense.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, the whole run game thing doesn't work if the D's not shutting people down because if the D can't stop people, then we're going to throw the ball 40 times.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not what we do. And Brian Robinson, the great story. I mean,
He is.
coming back from being shot, and he's really grown. I mean, I kind of thought of I wasn't hard on him, but I'm watching him going, well, this guy doesn't look all that special. I've seen some rookies, Damian Pierce from Houston, Walker at Seattle, pretty dynamic backs. And boy, it makes you wonder, why the hell would anyone draft a running back in the first round anymore? Holy crap. I mean, these guys are just coming in and killing it. And I didn't look, B-Rob's a great story, but I didn't see him as being, that super, quick, dynamic, or special. But man, he's proved me wrong. He's just every game he's growing and growing. He's catching passes out of the backfield. I mean, he's an exciting guy. So he was a big reason. But to your point, yeah, the defense has just been killer.
Yeah. I mean, we've always said our defense limits other teams from scoring because our offense has trouble scoring points. So if your defense and our defense has even scored points for us too. It was helpful in a couple games actually. That Kendall Fuller interception. Derek Forrest was playing like a beast in that one game. Benjamin St. Juste tipping the ball and getting turnovers. Those turnovers from when we didn't have like no turnovers the whole season. I think it started really rolling when we played the Eagles that game. I think we had like 3 turnovers or 4 turnovers in that game, and we've had a lot of turnovers ever since, and that's made a huge difference too. So.
Yeah, that was weird because you quoted that stat. It was like we went 3 games without a turnover or something. I mean, it was really, the worst teams in the world get turnovers.
Right.
So that's important. And then probably the biggest turnover was when Deron Payne tips that pass against the Falcons, and I guess it was Fuller got it.
Yeah, that game was lost. I had written it off almost. You know what I mean? We kept saying a miracle, a miracle, a miracle, and sure enough, man, why they passed on that down and tried to do it is crazy. That's something that we would do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that was so awesome. So.
Yeah, we were screaming, miracle, miracle, and then someone has to step up.
Yeah.
Someone has to make a play.
We
sure as hell, 2 guys combined, Deron Payne, and so, well, here we are, and, I think talking about the defense, we've done it without Chase. It's been a long rehab with him from that surgery, to be expected, really. He had a lot of damage to that knee. He's a young guy, you don't want to rush it. He's a special player. I think he was the second pick in the entire draft. So he's got a lot of draft capital, and he's a good player. And really, we've done a lot without Cole Holcomb, which really, you don't want to lose anybody, but that kid is so sad because he took that middle linebacker role and slightly struggled at first. And then all of a sudden, about the time he got hurt, he was totally putting it together. Yeah. That hurt. But, guys, it's just going to happen. We know it. And guys just stepped up. They got John Bostic. 32-year-old, which is like being 62 in real life. In football, that's old. But he's been great. And hopefully we might get Chase back. It's coming. They keep teasing this every week. But he is coming back. I really do believe he'll play regular season football. Just... If he can get in there, man.
And we've also had just the last few games. Montez has been out in concussion, and Benjamin St. Juste with his ankle. Those are a couple key players too. If you don't have Chase, you need Montez, and you need. Wasn't James Smith-Williams out too? Yeah. Yeah,
a lot of and that's the good news here. Let's talk about that. Really, is that everyone had either limited practices, and some guys had full practices. A lot of limited practices, including James Smith-Williams. I think he had a concussion, but that's okay. They were out there pushing sleds and doing stuff, and that's a good sign because it's only Wednesday. So, that's a good sign that they're doing that. Who else? Let's see. Jamin had a procedure on his thumb, so he must have cracked his thumb and been playing injured, and they used the bye week to go in and clean it up probably.
Yeah.
Do a little something, put a little screw in there. Who knows? They're not very doing much, but coach right away said it's not a big deal. He's playing. And those are good things. When you can get a knee or a thumb or a finger tuned up on the bye week, that's good. St. Just is out there with his ankle. The good news is Cosme's okay. He had a full practice.
Okay. I was worried about that.
Yeah, I think he had an ankle issue, and I think basically Smith Williams and Montez are just going through the concussion protocol. It's a very technical thing, but they're out there pushing things around, so I think they'll clear the protocol here hopefully by tomorrow or Friday. They'll be in. The biggest question mark, I think, will just be St. Just with the ankle. They'll test it. And then, of course, Chase Young. That's the big question.
Mm-hmm.
But we've always said, hey, we've gone this far without him, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think they've been, if you can get Montez and James Smith-Williams in there, then you're still doing all right. But if they're questionable, then you're definitely going to need Chase. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit too. The other question I had is about our O-line. Is Trey Turner coming back?
Trey Turner is one of those limited practice guys.
Okay.
So he's in that. I mean, we had a list of like 9 guys limited practice, which on Wednesday is a good thing. So Trey's doing pretty good. But the surprising news is, well, bad news. We saw Larson get carted off the field on that horrible turf out there at the Meadowlands, and he's gone for the year. We dropped centers like crazy. I was talking like a couple weeks ago. Spinal Tap was the movie I was thinking about. Remember, their drummers just every 2 weeks the drummer died, got lost. They just that's how I feel like in centers. I mean, for the last 2 years, and this team is an amazing amount of centers are dropping. But Wes Schweitzer's going to start.
Oh, really? Over Martin?
Yep.
Okay.
Which is really good. Martin, kind of came out after he was just sitting out there. No one really wanted him. He's done great. He's backed up for us. But a lot like Larson, his pass blocking leaves a little bit to be desired. In a short sample this year, West played center. I don't know if he was injured playing center, but he had a short sample of just average pass blocking. But I went back last year when he did some substantial center plays. He had like 61, 62 PFF pass blocking. And that's going to help us. Mm-hmm. If he's healthy and he can get out there, and it's going to help us a lot, because I really do think that's affected our line. Our center play is really struggled. And I think a lot of it is Chase Roulier and even Larson came back from lower leg injuries. Big men, 310-pound men. Larson came back from, it's hard. You're back, but you got to stop these 280, 330-pound behemoths leaning on you, pushing you in. I don't care what you say. You need like 2 years from lower leg, lower body, Achilles type injuries, calf injuries to withstand that kind of stuff. So anyway, good news there. We'll see what happens at the guard position if Trey's ready to suit up. I imagine it'll be Turner at guard. Cosme goes back to his natural tackle. But if not, they'll do it the other way around. They'll get Sam at guard and let Cornelius Lucas play tackle.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Cornelius has been doing good for us.
Really good. Super solid, man. Yeah. I think the only thing that hurts, too, is the musical chairs aspect of the offensive line, because it's such a team thing. It's a group of 5 guys that really do have to work together. It's not 5 individuals. There's a lot of line calls. You've got to be able to work as a unit to pick up other blocks, because the defensive linemen are, they're doing those loop arounds and they're doing different things, and there's blitzers coming. So that sort of hurts, but everyone deals with it. But that would be one thing. If this unit would stay solid and injury-free going into the playoffs, I think you would just see them grow and grow and grow and grow. Just recently saw them ranked the 21st ranked offensive line, which is not bad considering kind of how we've been bounced around and stuff, but I could see us being a top 10 line if we could just get some consistency. So the offensive line to me is all good. I just see nothing positive going into this game. So I'm really happy about them, and really, quite frankly, all of our wide receivers, our running backs. I know Gibson's got a little foot thing, but that's just rest. So he's doing pretty good. I think he was limited. Um, but really, our stars are doing a really good job. I think everyone appreciates that time to rehab and get ready. So,
So does that put Jonathan Williams in there in the running back group?
yep.
And then what about our tight end group?
Everyone there, the tight end group is solid. As a matter of fact, I think so. It's Cole Turner, Logan, and John Bates, right?
Yeah, is what's his name playing for another team? Who was that other guy that was Rogers, Armani Rogers? Is he playing for somebody else?
Other guy.
You're seizing up on me, dog. Sorry.
In 2 weeks, in other words, Armani Rogers will be back in 2 weeks. He's on that short-term IR, and he'll be able to start practicing. And then this week, Hodges, another tight end rookie that got hurt, I think he's been on an IR, so his portal, he kind of opens up this week. So
Okay.
Hodges will be able, but we don't, right now, so we're fully, you got 2 guys coming back, and you got 3 guys that are pretty much ready to play and aren't on the injury report. So tight end, once again, like the O-line is coming together, super solid. So, oh yeah, man, Weezy
Yeah.
D,
Yeah,
here we go.
she's in the house.
Cool.
Welcome.
She is in the house. So that's good. And I was trying to look, let me see what we got here. I know, okay, Wentz will go to backup
Yeah.
quarterback. So I guess they usually suit up 2, so I guess Howe will just be made inactive. I think that's a smart move.
Yeah.
This is if we were 3-10, then maybe we'd have Howe as a number 2 and maybe even give him some snaps. But this is playoff football, so we need Wentz. He's a bona fide guy. Anything ever happened, God forbid, with Heineke, we have him to fall back on. We want Taylor to take it all the way. But having Wentz there is good, and Howell just continues to learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge benefit for him to sit and watch it. So, pretty exciting stuff. Coming back from this bye, we really didn't go into it that bad. Think about last year, week 14, week 15. God, man, we were a wreck.
It was horrible.
Just signing guys off the street, anybody we could grab, pushing them in there. It was a disaster. So this is pretty wonderful, pretty good news coming in. And this is a game. Let's talk about the rest of the season. This is a game we don't have to win. But if we win this game, it sets up the dominoes like you can't believe. Especially, like you said, if tomorrow night, if San Francisco beats Seattle, which they could, San Francisco's getting pretty hot. San Fran beats Seattle and we take care of the Giants. Dude.
Yeah.
We're pretty set up because, now we've got a pretty good lead on the rest of the divisions in terms of the second, third, and fourth place teams. Our record is far superior. A lot of 5-win, 4-win teams, they're out of it. And then also teams are canceling each other. We talked about that. Giants got to play Philly. Giants got to play this team. So you're going to see teams get canceled out, just like you're going to see San Francisco's going to take care of business hopefully against Seattle. So that always helps. But that Giants win, and then basically after that, let's just say the Commanders take care of business. We'll assume that for now. The Giants are at Minnesota, then they got to play the Colts, and they're at Philadelphia. Pretty tough. Especially if they lose, they're up against it. And then the Commanders after this, now at the 49ers, that will be a tough game. Then we get the Browns at home. They haven't been too challenging, and we'll have them at home. And then the Cowgirls at home.
At home.
And that's, I think the good thing about it, and it's really important to win this game, is this is, like Coach said, this is playoff football. This is big boy football. No one wants to hear anything about your injuries or how your second round pick didn't pan out. No one cares. It's just play football, dude. And going up against Dallas and going up against the 49ers, win or lose, is going to teach this team, show this team what it's like. This is playoff football.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real. This is what you're going up against. This isn't Atlanta. No, this isn't a rivalry game. This is the real deal. And so it's going to be good for us. That's why taking out the Giants to get us up to that number 5 seed, maybe give us some real cushion.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, it almost seems pretty simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's mapped out pretty good, and you could almost hope for things like Dallas getting big britches, and maybe they win a couple more, and they're looking like they're 13-3 or whatever they're gonna be, and they sit people in our game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. They don't want to hurt people. They know they've clinched their little spot, and they, and go a little light. So, and that, you could pull a win out of that too. So, I like the Browns deal. San Francisco, I mean, they got that new guy in there, Purdy, whatever his name is. I mean, he won by sheer will, but they did win, but against who? Tampa Bay, Tom Brady. They're really not that good. They've got a losing record, winning a division in which is now the worst division in the NFC now. So,
they destroyed them. And I mean, so I kind of agree. The Browns really haven't been putting it together. I mean, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because the Cowboys will just be in no man's land. They'll clinch the number one, not the number 1 seed, but they'll be the number 1 seeded.
They'll be the number
backup
4
team, so they'll get, and they'll guaranteed go play. They'll play Tampa Bay, right? I mean, that's a lock. Yeah. So they'll play the team with the worst division record. So matter of fact, someone texted me and said, "Wouldn't it be great? It's looking like the Cowboys are going to play Tampa Bay, and they're like 11 and or what's it? They have this killer record, and then have to go play Tampa Bay and lose."
Yeah.
It could happen
against Tom Brady. He's known for that kind of shit. So
and teams act different in the playoffs, man. Like I said, that's why I call it playoff football, big boy football, because now there's nothing to lose. There's no excuses. No one wants to hear any of your BS. It's just play football. Shut up and go home or go home. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. So that'll be kind of fun to watch. Hey, what if Jacksonville upsets the Cowboys this weekend? Then the Cowboys play the Eagles, and the Eagles punk them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're like, hey, we can tie those clowns.
Looking good.
That would be a lot of fun. So a lot of things can happen. So pretty exciting stuff. Let's see, I'm kind of looking at my notes here. Yeah, St. Jude. So let's look at Thursday and Friday. Friday is always the key practice. They'll come right out on Friday and say who's out. They usually pretty much all teams announce it after Friday's practice. They tell you, and then everyone else is questionable, doubtful. So, but when we monitor these practices tomorrow and Friday, we're going to see which guys are coming back, and I think we're going to get really good news. Really good news. A couple guys might not be able to play, but overall, I think we're going to get really good news on all these players who've been fighting these injuries.
Yeah, I'm happy for it, dude. And we got flexed to the Sunday night game. The NFL thinks it's going to be something. It's 2 teams fighting for a playoff spot, and it's an interdivision rivalry. It could be a good game. So, I'm excited about that, and we're going to do a live show. I'm going to call it. I'm going to get to be able to see it. If not on TV, I'll be able to see it on the NFL thing. So.
That'll be Sunday nights. That'll be NBC. So
is it?
Should be able to pick it up on the old antenna.
Yeah, I'll put the tinfoil up.
There you go. Get those rabbit ears up there. So, how are we looking for time on the stream, man?
They haven't said we got 10 minutes yet, so I haven't seen that come up. But I think we're doing good. If we got anything else we want to cover and look at, I'm all for it. So.
Well, the only thing I could think of is, getting a little ahead of ourselves, but just a little bit on the draft. We're now, the good thing about when the playoffs come, and you get seeded is you kind of start to see where you're going to be in the draft. And if we make the playoffs at a minimum, we're going to be pick 18. So we're one of those, we're not pick 5, pick 9. pick 11, we win a playoff game, and that drastically changes. Now you're minimum pick 24, and it sort of has, we talk, a lot of people talk, are we going to draft a quarterback? Do we need a quarterback? A lot of discussion out there. If you're in pick 24, you're not getting a premier quarterback.
No.
So now what do you do? Which way do you go? And I don't think this team has any, I think this team has one hole. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go. I think there's going to be some incredible cover corners. They're all over this draft. I mean, really good players. It wouldn't hurt us to get one because you got to go 6 deep with corners.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Danny Johnson.
Yeah.
Danny's okay, but he needs to be replaced. We need to get younger. We need to get some younger bodies in there. We got some younger safeties in. So we did a good job in the last draft, Percy Butler and stuff. So we got some good young safeties, but it wouldn't hurt to get a corner. But center, for me, is number one. And that's really weird because center in the first round, you see it almost always one center goes every year. But we really need to fix the center position.
Yeah.
I mean, we need a plug and play guy. There's a bunch of them out there. Could be an opportunity even if we're, hopefully we're pick 32. But, if it's late there, teams always want to come into that end of the first round. These teams in the second round, that are at the bottom of the pile, like Houston, they might trade to get in there and get someone that they want. And then that would be great. So we could get someone like that. We could get a center. There's a lot of the offensive line around. We could use a guard. I mean, let's face it. We got a couple 31-year-olds, and they've been just a little better than average. Norwell's been just okay. Trey Turner, you know what I mean? And they're pushing 30, 31. So to get some young beef at a guard, to get a stud, I think would be a super smart way to go.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Why not? I mean, yeah, because we're so many other positions we don't have to touch. We're doing really good all the way around. Fairly young team, really, in the starting positions, except on that O-line. It's a little long in the tooth, although they're playing good.
And if we could dump Wentz, we could gain some capital.
Whew. And that's another thing, making the move on Wentz, it gives us a ton of cap room. And then, maybe we can go out and there's going to be some free agent centers. It's not great, but they're pretty good. Maybe you just get a free agent. There's a couple of them. You put your free agent money towards a guy we need someone who can hold down this line at the center position because it's just been a turnstile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in and out. And, like another guy, Wes Schweitzer, who I really like, and I'm really glad he started. Wes is 30 years old. He'll be 31 next year. You just can't have a bunch of 31, 32, 33-year-olds on your offensive line because you're asking for trouble. Because they're playing good, but the NFL. No one lasts that long.
No,
so,
not them big guys like that, dude. So.
Yeah. But yeah, there's, an offensive tackle, linebackers even, and, maybe, you take a flyer on a quarterback in the second or third round, and that's fine because you know what? That guy can just do like Howell did this year. Just make him inactive, get him out there practicing with the team. Yeah. And I think Taylor Heineke and Howell are a good combination, personally.
Yeah, I think so too. I'd like to see Howell. I think he's good enough. There's that $10 million thing.
Yeah, I agree. And you're not going to get a blue chip guy usually unless they do something crazy and trade and move to get some guy, which they might do.
I don't know.
But other than that, yeah, why mess it up? Why not just keep getting pieces? And we've got plenty. I think we'll lose a third rounder on the Wentz trade. We owe Indy a third rounder for that, but we get a third rounder back in for the comp for
William Jackson.
What's that?
For
not
William
Jackson. No, the guy, our offensive lineman. He's just on the tip of my tongue. He went to Jacksonville. I'm drawing a blank, but we will get a third round comp pick. So in a way, we don't lose a third rounder. Brandon Scherf.
That's sure. That's right.
Yeah, and I think we get a 7th round comp pick for the young tackle that went to Buffalo. We liked him a lot, but the team decided not to sign him. I wish I could remember. I can't remember his name either. But anyway,
Chris
I think
Paul?
we might get a 7th. Who?
Chris Paul?
No. This is the defensive young
defensive.
defensive tackle that got signed in free agency by Buffalo that we had. He was a backup. He was pretty good, but the team for some reason decided not to go with them. I wish I could remember his
Yeah.
name. But anyway, but we'll get a 7th-round pick for that guy.
Cool.
So, so that's really cool. So, that's right, Nick the Quick. Let's go, Commander.
Thank you,
Heck
Nick.
Yeah.
We appreciate you
Good
being
job.
here, man. Hopefully you can
Yeah.
join us for the Sunday night show too. Hopefully we'll have everybody there, Chris and Veronica
Yeah.
and Nick here, and maybe Brett will come back, and Mountain Man, and Wheezy D is out there watching the show. Thank you all for being here tonight. So should be a
Yeah.
great game on
That's
Sunday.
That's right, Nick. We'll stream it, so we'll be there. But anyway, it's just kind of interesting where you end up in the draft, and it's good if you're drafting late in the draft. It means you had a pretty good year, and so that'll be kind of fun to watch. And I mean, I'm with you. I think I'd say Taylor at the minimum. Taylor Heineke and Howell could be our quarterbacks next year, and just save the money on Wentz. I mean, God, man, save the money for Wentz and just, extend Daron Payne, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
God,
Yeah.
throw somebody. I mean, Cam Curl, get Cam Curl extended now before that guy is so good. He's going to get to the point where he's not going to want to sign a contract. He's going to go, well, I'll just wait one more year and I'll get a massive contract.
Yeah.
Get these guys in now. Use that
Lock
money.
them in. Yeah.
Yeah. Even I feel bad for. I think they were probably thinking about Cole Holcomb extending him, and then we'll have to see how the injury goes. But I mean, I wouldn't mind giving him a nice little contract because he'll come back from that foot injury. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a young guy. He's only 26 or so. So
Yeah,
he's not even that old, and he not going to command a $45 million, $50 million contract. He'll probably take a nice contract. I say give it to him. And the same with Taylor. Taylor will have to be re-signed. So these are some of the things you got to think about. But it's nothing, no big money, and certainly Wentz's money, $26 million, will cover all of that. I mean, Wentz, you can sign all those guys with Wentz's money. So.
Yeah, and what we saved from William Jackson too.
Oh yeah, I think we eat some dead cap space because we had to just let it go. But still, technically, we saved $6 million.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's $6 million free dollars because we're playing better without him. That's free money.
You can buy a good center with that much money.
Woo, a real good center. Yep. So all right, man. Well, good deal, man. We got 6 people here looking at us here. We got Nick the Quick, Weezy D's in there. That might be a new world record for. We don't do a lot of live chat. So.
No, we don't. So it's good to do this. We do our show for all y'all to know. Me and BH, when we do our regular show, we just do it like this anyways. There's no cuts. There's no nothing to it. So
we might as well just stream every midweek show.
We might in the future. Especially as long as we keep winning, that might be the way to go. Every time we win, we'll come and do it. Losing, it's not as fun when you're losing. So it's fun when you're winning. Let's see. Sunday night should be good. I mean, New York got their asses beat last Sunday, so they're bumming from that. I saw a little thing that showed from last week when we or the week before when we played New York. All our numbers were just super close. That's why it was a tie. So this game will almost be like a continuation of that game. They were talking about, this will be the 6th quarter and stuff like that, and so just continue going. So I'm excited about it, dude. I think it should be really good. It's going to be at home. There's a lot of bonuses to be said about all of that, and I think the boys are ripe for it. We're a team that's on the upswing rather than the downswing for once. And you build on that. It looks good. I think you gained. Hopefully they'll come out with some heat. Like we were talking about, they don't come out with heat sometimes, but they're looking pretty good here lately. I think they can do it, especially against New York, and just take it this one game at a time kind of thing that you hear people talk about all the time. Let's just take this game, hopefully win it, and then just concentrate on New York first. That's because they say if we win, we're like 86% chance of getting the playoffs. If we lose, it's 27. So
we got to take them out. So we had a bye week. They didn't. So they're nursing injuries. We're getting healthy. But to your point, the offense and the defense. Let's come in with some heat.
Yeah.
Don't come in like feeling all mellow from the bye week. Come in
hot.
Like it's playoff football, man. It's now or never. So.
Yep.
All right, man.
Dude.
Well, good job. Good stream.
Yeah, loving it, dude. Good to have Nick here, Wheezy here, Scrubber was here. I was here on my other phone. I'm 2 of the 6, so
Yeah, I know. I might be two of them myself, to be honest with you. So, all right,
Fun
man. Well,
stuff,
good
man.
job. Well, I'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll see you on Sunday too. All right, guys, we're gonna end this stream right here, and let me go to the part where it ends it. We're gonna hit end stream, and then I'm gonna hit end.